Good for you, Kevin. This is for you.
It's nice, ain't it?
Hey.
3 people make a lot of noise. How are you?
I am fine.
Yeah,
Things are good.
because it's good to see you. I mean, I do get to see you occasionally. We get to play golf together every now and then. And when I say that, because it reminds me, you know, as sheriff, and people don't know this, I guess a lot of people do because they see you everywhere. You're constantly out there in the public. You're constantly involved with charities, especially, Mike. You got a couple of them.
I'm just blessed I have enough energy to go do everything I do. I like being out there doing it. If I weren't sheriff, I'd probably do all these things. And they're fun to do, and I meet a lot of people, and I enjoy it. And at the same time, the byproduct of it is that you do some good for somebody.
Right.
And that's nice.
You know, because when it comes to the sheriff, because people, you know, especially people on the internet, they think, well, where's his uniform and his gun and all that. You know, people don't live in this area. The sheriff's job, I mean, you do have that power to arrest people and things like that, but that's not your job. What does the sheriff do?
Well, when I talk to organizations like the Lions or the Rotary, and I have to first say what the job isn't. The sheriff title, you have an image that comes to mind, and it maybe dates back to the Old West, but you picture maybe the guy in the Dodge commercial.
The Andy Griffith.
with the guns. Well, we don't wear a uniform. We're not police investigators. We work for the court system, delivering papers, writs, subpoenas, papers from out of state to make the flow of paper through the court system as smoothly and as efficiently as we can. And we get directives from Superior Court that may read, you will. It doesn't say, hey, Mike, when you get around to this, see if you can deliver this paper. You will do this, and some are forthwith, which means right away.
Right.
So you stop everything else and take that
well, there's
paper.
important things, trials. I mean, you got to keep those paperwork flowing so they have the right people coming in and subpoenaed and things like that. You know, and then of course, you know, one of the things that's happening in today's market with the economy and everything, foreclosures on homes.
Oh, heavy.
You have to handle that as well.
We have a heavier load in foreclosures than we could have imagined. We have an extra person in there, and they're stressed. They're working as hard as they can, plus trying to combine that with a new computer system that the county has imposed on us. I say imposed because in the long run it will be effective, but getting used to it, all of our people who are used to doing this and this now have to make sure it's done a different way. And so you have that with the workload. We have a record number of foreclosures. The second, for any of you who have an interest, the second Tuesday of each month in the city-county building, right there in the county chambers, we have the sheriff's sale. It's a nice education for you if you have an outside thought of maybe picking up on buying a home, sheriff's sale.
Yeah, when you're talking about that, you of course, there again, the foreclosure part of it's not the nice thing where you have to go take another family out of the home, you know, to sell those homes. So that's a rough part of the situation, especially in today's times. I mean.
Yeah, it is, but by the time the paperwork gets to the person who's 6 months behind, and all of the legal proceedings happen, they've pretty much resigned. They know, and on rare occasions you have to have an eviction where we call the county police. Because some people, and I think they're emotion-ridden, it's a terrible time, and they're just going to stay there because they have no idea what to do. And they want to stay in the house.
You know, because you're all of a sudden out on, you know, so it is a stressful job as well.
That part of it, it's not a large part of it. Fortunately, we don't have a lot of those.
Right, right.
But if there's a plus to it, and I guess there is, and the worse the times are with the more of the foreclosures, the revenue for the sheriff's office is a conduit to the county, and we made $4 million last year.
So you're a money-making business then?
We are that.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I never thought about that with the filing fees and different things, so you're definitely on a plus side. Is that, now, as sheriff, is that kind of what you oversee and being sure that, you know, hey, here's what we want to make, or is there something there, or is it just...
No, you only have a certain amount of control over it. I mean, like if a wave of prosperity hit, we would be less prosperous.
So you make, the government makes the money in the hard times then.
Yeah, they do on this particular part of it. And if we were going to increase fees, which we did, I mean, when I started, a fee for a paper from Peoria to here to give it to someone was $25, and it's $75.
Right.
It's the same piece of paper, and it doesn't take any longer. but revenue and
cost
the
of
needs
gas,
for it, the budget,
yeah.
is severe.
Yeah,
it really is.
When you talk about that manpower, and you know, because you have quite a few deputy sheriffs underneath you. And everything, but I've been over to the facilities there, and you also got to escort the guys and hold the guys that are in court, and so there's a lot to it. And I just wanted people to understand, you know, that you've been doing it for 29 years. You know the ins and outs of the sheriffs, and it's important that we remind a lot of people out there that you're still there and you're still doing the job that you're supposed to do, and to be sure, because it's elected office. I mean, that's the bad thing about it. You know, it's not like, okay, Mike's got the job and he's going to keep the job. You got to go out here and you got to run. I guess every, what is it, 4 years?
4 years, yeah. That sheriff for life thing sounds funny, and it's nice and it's a myth, but so far so good.
Well, it's amazing to hold any elected office that long. I mean, that just tells the folks out there, especially people just moving to the area and aren't familiar with the job that you've done, you know, what a good man you are and what you've accomplished since you've been there. I mean, it's definitely increased the revenues into the sheriff's office. And on top of that, everything runs efficient, you know.
I'm not like the football player who gained a lot of yardage. My people there. I hope that they don't ever get a better job somewhere. They're just grand. They really are. They do their job. But we have times where people want to talk to the sheriff because they're upset, and I don't care who you are, the head of the real estate. I want to talk to the sheriff, so I talk with them.
Yeah, and you talk a lot, because when I say that,
he means it's time to wrap it up.
Only guy, because I got to tell people beforehand, because Michael was back in the day when this first launched, way back when, he did the Delaware Park races. For people that don't remember that, so long before we came along, he kind of started this whole television thing here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was neat, just the rush of being live.
Yeah.
It was.
You know what this means?
That means, I remember what it means. It's right before this.
We've been getting that for like the last 2 minutes here, so I'm going to have to, Mike, it's always a pleasure. Election time, don't forget about Mike Walsh.
Hey,
you know.
We're grateful for everybody out there, my friends, and I'm glad. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll be bringing Mike back and talk a little bit more, but right now we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay with us, be right back right after this.
Find out more about the Tim Walsh Show and other Positive Promotion Productions, then log on to our website at www.PosProTV.com.